say
Like, you can repeat one time.
Don't listen to me. La 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 la. Did you say I have a sister I don't know?
I have a Sarah I don't know.
I have a sister I don't know.
I have a sore throat.
During the summer of 2007, 10 medical students were placed in community-based literacy programs and became teachers for 8 weeks. Their students came from every corner of the world and all walks of life. Some were there to learn English, some to get their GED, others to master the basics of reading and writing. The Mayor's Office created the Health Literacy Fellowship for first-year medical students. The fellowship is designed to help future physicians enhance their communication skills. They learn firsthand the importance of literacy in managing one's health. The fellowship began with a dinner. It was a chance for fellows to meet the teachers they were paired with and to find out just what they had signed up for.
So let's talk about the fellowship for a moment. I believe that a doctor-patient relationship is so similar to a teacher-student relationship that if our future physicians here can understand how an adult learns and processes information, then in a clinical setting they can more effectively give information so that the adult actually processes it, and then we have some positive health outcomes. We want to expose our future doctors here to their future patients, but we also want our adult learners to be getting something out of this.
I think a fundamental premise for the whole fellowship project has been that there should be a partnership between the healthcare sector and the adult education world. That's a partnership that makes a lot of sense. Adult educators every day are meeting with people who are patients in one part of their lives, who have families, who are representative of a population that's a great audience to have to work with around health issues if you want to try to influence a whole community of people.
When I started on the path to medicine, I ended up going to a conference on health literacy, and I realized there was a name for what I was interested in, so that teaching people to understand health and to understand science and about that gap between doctors and patients that I had noticed. There was a name for it, it was health literacy, and it was something that was ubiquitous and something that was talked about but in a roundabout way. And so I applied. As a first-year student at Mount Sinai School of Medicine, I decided to apply for the fellowship, and that's what led me to the program.
Before sending the fellows into the field, they were trained on the concept of health literacy and how to be clear and effective communicators.
So here's the assignment. Choose just one and spend a couple of minutes analyzing it for how clear and effective the communication is. So work in a little group to analyze how clear and effective you think the communication was towards that purpose. Notice what assumptions we make when we just write naturally. You know, and none of this is wrong or right. It's just a way of just noticing what assumptions we bring to the table. And so the first piece of clear and effective communication, well, the very first piece is like defining your purpose.
The gap between doctors and patients is, I think, caused by a number of things. One of them is doctors are very highly educated, and so they learn to talk a specific lingo in medical school that becomes very natural and is hard to change between speaking to another physician and speaking to a patient.
There are many things that you could keep in mind when you're creating materials, but we also wanted to make it so that people might actually use the list, so that people would really look at it and start paying attention to how they were creating documents. I think a lot of decisions about what fonts get used are made by people who are readers, who are strong readers, and who don't have the same connection to low-level readers.
When Lutheran came, we had already read several articles that described, what are some guidelines for plain language, for the things that people should take into account when they're writing health brochures and healthcare information. But when they came and they actually illustrated it and described it, it was very clear.
Fellows are in the field 4 days a week from 9 to 5. They helped adults improve their English and their reading, writing, and math skills, all within the context of health.
Overall, the experience has been really great, like sometimes wonderful and sometimes a challenge. Like, it's really amazing when you present a topic to the students and like you feel like you really connect with them and they really are taking in everything that you're saying. And then it's really tough when you present a concept and everyone sort of looks at you blank face and there's just a wall and they haven't understood anything, and you have to sort of like go back several steps and start over from an even more basic level.
In the summer school, Xiao is very good, is very patient to teaching our classmates.
Yep, very good. So once means take one time every day. But what does this word, O-N-C-E, mean in Spanish? Once. Once. What does that mean in English? 11. 11. So maybe I see the bottle, I don't speak English, I only speak Spanish, I don't know any of the words, I see once, I take 11 pills every day. So I think doctors always write one time every day because it's very bad to write once.
I am comfortable for the class, for the medical. I have more security for the next appointment for the doctor.
It's very rewarding for me to teach. I think that the rewards in teaching and in health are very immediate because you're working one-on-one with somebody. That's your job, is to work with someone, and you can see their progress very quickly. I love doing it. It's fun for me because it's sharing knowledge, and I think sharing knowledge is sharing power. And so when I explain to someone about electrons and about protons, or if I explain about different forms of energy, I feel like I'm giving them something. And if I can do it in an engaging way where I make it relevant to both their daily lives and to their ultimate goal, whether it's passing the GED, becoming an RN, or whatever it is, it makes me feel that I've done something very positive. So
here's another important message I want you guys to take away from this. Nobody in this classroom is going to leave without knowing that they can control your own health.
Yeah, I get kind of a rush from it. It's a lot more fun than going to medical school.